Okay, I'm waiting for the stream to start. Yeah, okay, I guess it started. Okay, we're back. Sorry for the little inconvenience, but I think it's even better right now with the gameplay analysis divided into two parts, because right now we're approaching the end of this fight and we have to make an external analysis of the Tenkaichi structure, the Tenkaichi meta, and the Tenkaichi strategy. So I wanted to take our analysis back from this point where Rob is actually punching Kimikpower's 17, and you can see there are a lot of mistakes done. First of all, we have a lot of Android barriers from Kimikpower when he could have done something like a double L1, so the emergency explosive wave, since this moment. You see, he had the three key bars available right from here, so he had the opportunity to lose time in order to get his character switch ready, and even to get a strong mix-up with the waiting from Rob. But let's see what happened. I don't know why, Kimik like waited in order to get under his half-life bar, so he lost his privilege to do the emergency explosive wave. Rob punished very well the first Android barrier, very well with the second one, and he goes for this. I can't understand why. He has flying kicks, he has delayable square hits. Why would you go for something that you can either block or sidestep that easy? He literally has a single HP left. So please do flying kicks and then go for a charged attack, because you have a very strong mix-up since that moment, and maybe if you even hit with a single flying kick, you already killed him. That was a very stupid choice from Rob that I sincerely can't understand. Let's go forward. Well, I noticed something. I don't want to be that. Look. Look in this moment. He's grabbing him and Rob was mashing the X button. I mean, this is part of the flowchart that I was explaining before, which is something extremely wrong. He could have turned, block his throw, and maybe he could have killed 17, getting like a revenge for the previous mistake. But then he goes for another mistake, another flowchart, another wrong flowchart. I sincerely can't understand why this is happening. Let's go forward. Obviously, in this case, while you are doing something else, you can't dodge the opponent's throw, you get hit, and you basically are leaving room for your opponent to escape. But then we have another mistake. Kimikpower does the power balls. Rob dodges that, and I can assure you that if Rob didn't go for such a wrong attack like that, you look, he's going like in the right side of him. He only needed to go forward, only forward, I'm sorry, forward, and then attack with his charged smash while moving, and he could have killed him. There's like 6, 7, 8 very big mistakes in like 5 seconds. This is something unforgivable in tournament stages. this is something that you really need to work on, both Kimikpower and Rob, because Kimik is always forcing for a blast situation, and Rob is always forcing for a melee situation without even maximizing his strong point of his gameplay. Okay? Let's go for it. As you can see, French commentators here were going crazy. If I remember correctly, I was commenting that match, so I can't remember what exactly happened in the comment section here. But let's go forward. We can see where Kimikpower is very weak here. The execution moment, because he clearly made a lot of mistakes in execution. Look, he didn't have any idea of what he was doing right there. Oh, I would have gone here for a flying kicks, because Gohan Madan choices in melee scenario are really slow, and as you can see, Rob can easily flank out of it or even sidestep, dodge very easily because of the slowness. Let's see if he will maximize. Obviously, again, this setup, this time Kimik punishes it well with a distant explosive wave, which can't be recovered with the normal recovery here, and punished Rob for doing the same thing for like 4 or 5 times. He could have killed him in a very easy way. As you can see, Kimik is playing the waiting game, but Rob is making a strategic mistake that I will explain later. We have the change. Nice. Rob went for a very hard choice there, because he knew Kimik would have been moving a lot. So he went for a non-charged smash attack, and he got him. Since Madden can't punish your melee mistakes, this is something that makes a sense actually. So Rob did a very good choice here, punishing the safest way possible. We have 17. He tries for the setup of going around the opponent again, but this time Rob was prepared, and we have a nice block. Now he can't run anymore, but it seems like Rob doesn't remember that Broly isn't flinched by anyone's ki blasts, so he can actually go straight forward against Kimikpower without the fear of being hit by ki blasts. The only characters that can flinch Broly with ki blasts are giants, great apes, and the same Broly. So there's no sense to have fear of 17 ki blasts. We are at the end of the fight, where Rob dodges a perfect smash. He goes for the throw, and he goes for the safe damage with a charged ki blast. Okay, I won't analyze the following match, because it's pretty much the same thing. Rob gets a win for 2-0 against Kimikpower, qualifying for the winner top 4, winner semi-final. But the thing is, there are a lot of strategical mistakes, a lot of technical mistakes that I will analyze here in this paint picture. Okay, we call this scenario, well, I get it something bigger. Okay, Tenkaichi meta gate. Okay, we put this more or less on center. We get 3 different things that makes Tenkaichi metagame. I think the first thing is like movement. Okay, Second thing is damage optimization, right? And the third thing is I guess defense. Alright, we have the three main aspects defining the Tenkaichi metagame. Okay? I will make like this. Okay. Okay. It will take some time, so please be patient. This, 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 this. Okay? Defense. What does concern defense? What does defense concern? I'm sorry. Let's talk about that. We talk about defense when we think of dodging, vanishing, sidesteps, perfect flanking in order to avoid blast 2s. But defense is basically resumable in some points that I will name as best defensive options, ability to force situations. Okay? Sorry. Let's write it again. Forcing situations. I won't close this. I will try to open up a different paint because we are talking of different things. Let's imagine we have like a situation where, okay, there's this guy sorry, this is this is too big. This is this guy, which is me, and there's this guy, which is, well, Gohan, Madam. Okay, we have to deal against Madam, but we don't know how to do that. Why? Because we don't know how Madden works. We could think that Madden works like this. Okay, a gigantic cone with circular hitbox. So it seems like invincible, right? But it doesn't work like this, actually. Madden is more like something like that. You see? We have like, well, 60 degrees here and 30 degrees here. Basically, what I want to tell you is that knowing something like that could suggest us that the best defensive option against a long-range Madden is to fly upwards. This is the best defensive option against long-range Madden. Okay. We were talking about forcing situations. So defense in this case is forcing long range. We want to force this. We want to force us to get on long range against Madden and fly upwards in order to avoid the Madden range. This is something defense related. We are forcing situations, right? Okay, let's go over. We won't need this anymore. Defense is knowing situations. Of course, you can say, well, I didn't know about that thing, that modern thing. That's a lack of defense, actually, because you didn't know the situation, right? Third thing is relationship between damage optimization, movement, and defense. You know, the example before, I used to explain how movement can prevent something, and this is defense related, but is obviously movement related too. So, the important thing about defense is to work around damage optimization and movement in relationship to defense. Okay, these three things are in a constant communication this way, but even in this way. Okay, that's very important, because if we now analyze movement, it's all like forcing the opponent approach. If we want to play it defensively, we need to get distant from the opponent and we need to force the opponent to approach. But this is something movement related, because we move away from the opponent in relation of a defensive strategy. So you see, movement and defense are in a relationship talking about this point. And when we force the opponent to the ground, this situation usually happens after a successful blast 2 on hit. So we maybe are optimizing some damage, we get the opponent to fall on the ground, and we use movement in order to force the opponent to the ground to make any choice. So in this moment, movement and damage optimization are in a constant communication. I would say the last thing about movement, being always, no, sorry, being able to block in any moment. Guys, this is a very important thing, because we should feel a lot more free to move around the map if we are able to block in any movement, if we are good to cancel, because we prevent the enemy from attacking, and we prevent the enemy for trying to do random blast 2s. This is very important, movement and defense related again. So you see that this is something even movement related. We now talk about damage optimization, and we talk about maximum damage safest options, right? It seems stupid, but as you can see, even very good players as Rob and Kimikpower can't always do that. Because if we go unsafe, we need to release everything from offense to defense. We optimize the damage in order to avoid something really hard defense related, but this is something that is in its own way defense related. Let's say I don't want to get the opponent teleport my choices and punish me. Okay, do only undodgeable choices. So you won't have to deal with the opponent, and so you are preventing yourself, you are defending yourself. As you can see, damage and defense are communicating. They are in a relationship in this moment. Right? Now, the other thing we need to know about damage optimization: fast damage, burst damage, slow damage, DPS. Sorry, we made a little star here just to remind you that this burst damage can be resumed as blast 2s, and DPS combos, right? When can we go for combos, and when should we go for burst damage? Blast 2 is something like key related, so it's something very situational, but combos could be always useful for the opponent, because you're allowing them to do an emergency blast wave and they leave from the melee scenario and they save their health bar. So maybe in that situation, if you have the possibility to choose between blast 2 and combos, you go for blast 2s, because 99% of the case a blast 2 won't allow the opponent to do an emergency explosive wave in order to get out from that damage and save the life bar, right? But combos are a lot more difficult to avoid, but they deal less damage because damage is well distributed in time. So damage per second combos, right? And even here, if we want to resume, we have a relationship between damage optimization, movement and defense. Okay, this is very important. Now I open up another paint, right? We have a very close relation between those two documents. I will zoom out a bit this. Okay. Let's focus on this. We have Kimikpower here. Wow, made a huge shit. Power. And we have Rob here. Let's say strong points and weak points. So we can analyze where they have lack of knowledge or lack of ability, but we still analyze where they are strong effectively. Okay, I would say let's talk about damage optimization. I would say they both lack about a lot of concepts, but Definitely, Rob has a strong point here. Damage optimization. We reduce this to like, let's see, this. Okay. And then we have poor damage optimization. Okay. But then we talk maximum damage safest options. Here, Kimikpower is actually better because we saw a lot of times Rob going for unsafe choices in order to repeat a lot of flowcharts. So we have unnecessary risks taken. Meanwhile, Kimik does just short but damaging combos because he makes the blast 2 and combos interact between them. So he's able to do short but damaging combos, which is a lot better than unnecessary risks taken, right? Oh my god, I wrote it wrong. So I will write this again. Unnecessary risky melee choices. Let's write it like this. Maybe it's better. Okay. Then let's talk about, this is something that resumes a more or less fast damage, burst damage, low damage, DPS. Let's talk about movement. Movement is something where Kimikpower is definitely superior because you can see he moves very well with Madden in order to get his Madden hitting the opponent. So good strategic blaster related movement. Meanwhile, Rob lost a lot of chances because you know, let's remember the episode of Trunks entering the battle, throwing the target rush, and Rob getting it because he was moving in the wrong way. So we can say wrong and well, let's only say wrong movements, right? Then, forcing the opponent approach, relationship between the damage optimization, movement defense, force the opponent to the ground, being able to block in any moment. We can resume every three aspects in this paragraph, so it's okay. Forcing situations, knowing situations, relationship between the three aspects of the Tenkaichi metagame. I will zoom this out, okay? This is something that I would say Rob is incredibly superior. So I will write here better knowledge, better overall knowledge of the game, right? Meanwhile, Kimikpower, we saw, has a very poor overall game knowledge. In my opinion, these 2 points are fundamental because Kimikpower, oh my god, I made a mistake, sorry. Okay, Kimikpower has been able to only lose due to this thing. So we get a little arrow here. And we write Kimikpower may could well, probably lost due to this single point. Okay, the same way we could say that Rob probably won due to this single point, right? That makes a lot of sense because there was lack of defense in both parts, but the one who had a lot more knowledge in terms of relationship between the metagame between them was clearly Rob. So we can say Rob had a lot better knowledge about meta game than Kimik. So why I'm pointing at this? That's because I will write it in green. This is the reason because 1. Rob won, Kimik lost. This is extremely important because doing this analysis allowed us to understand why Rob won despite of Kimikpower, because we had like well, a draw here in strong points and weak points, but this one is the most important. So if Rob is better, instead of having a very poor overall game knowledge, maybe he has been able to win only thanks to this. That means that Rob has a huge advantage against Kimik because of the overall knowledge of the game. Overall knowledge of the game allows the player to have overall knowledge about the meta game. Meta, for those who doesn't know, meta, most efficient tactics available. This is meta. So if you know the meta, you know the most efficient tactics. If you have a good knowledge of the meta, you basically are able to use those most efficient tactics available, and you win, as you can see, right? That's all, guys. I hope this analysis made a clear point of view. I will leave in the description the link for the fight, I would say. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.